Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be doing a terrarium build. So I guess a house that has a lot of glass, a lot of greenery, and we're gonna try and make it function like a house or a tiny home or whatever we come up with. I kind of don't really have a plan yet. So we will see how we go. So thank you to one of you guys who commented this a while back as a video idea. Okay, so a terrarium often is like really just like a box, and then it has often I think a hipped roof. Real life terrariums, I mean, I guess they come in all different shapes and sizes. Actually I've seen both hipped and pitched roofs, so we could go like the super basic terrarium shape of just like rectangle. We definitely have some lines. I really wish these lines were more defined and thicker, or if we just had an option for that, I think that would be really great. And then voila, it's a terrarium. Does this have a thicker version? Also, what kind of color? Usually terrariums have a little bit of a sheen to them. Sometimes they do. Maybe I'm just making up a few things here. I actually don't own a terrarium myself. Okay, so we could do something like this. I also want to see what the hipped roof looks like. Yeah, I feel like that doesn't look as good. Or there's also the idea of doing like a hexagonal terrarium, because those exist too. Or octagonal. So that kind of a style, which would be harder, which would be fun, because, you know, then it's a more difficult thing. But I actually think as far as a build goes, just the simplistic look of a terrarium is actually pretty nice. And we could do a tiny home style as well. Well, the other thing is we could do like a fancy terrarium, but I'm used to seeing them more in this style. Another idea I have is to add some columns to make it look like the thick metal around a terrarium. That's also another idea I was thinking of, because this is the thickest roof type, and sometimes this is really fun to use because it kind of gives the build a cartoony look, which I really like. I have to say my get together pillars are the ones I use the most for sure, but we could place a few of these around if we wanted to create our own terrarium framing, I suppose. And who knows what kind of layout we're going to do next. I mean, arguably maybe I should have done this towards the end of our terrarium build as opposed to the start, when we may completely change the shape of this. But if we did it this way, we could even just have the regular glass walls. Oh, that's got a seam line in there. Okay, like that kind of a thing. But that does look kind of strange. It just, yeah, it doesn't look quite right. Although we can't get a trim around it, which is what I was hoping, we could use a frieze. This one is actually, no, I thought that one was more simplified than it is. There's this one, which is pretty thick. The problem with friezes is they're a lot thicker than the trims are, and they're usually more decorative, so it can be a little tricky to find one that will be minimal. Okay, the Get Famous one is probably the most simple. The other thing I was kind of thinking about is if the top of the terrarium actually opened up a little bit. This might be a strange idea, but imagine if it just looked like it was open, like a little hinge door in the roof. I think it might glitch out a little bit, but we might be able to make it look interesting, because we would essentially just lift up that part of the roof like that. You know, with the invisible glass piece there, it doesn't look too bad, other than the fact that it doesn't line up with the grid lines. That's kind of a bummer. Maybe it's just a matter of holding down Shift and Alt to try and make them line up. Oh, that's really not gonna line up well. Or we could go like that and just have a clear roof, but then you'll see the seam lines here. So maybe I don't know, it's a cute idea, but maybe we need to ditch it. The other thing that would be difficult in a house that's a terrarium house is figuring out a bathroom solution, because this, I think we would want to have a roof above it. So in that case, we'd have to move this roof, build a ceiling over here, and just have that. What happened to my roof? It just deletes it. Well, that would mean that maybe we'd have to do a separate piece of roofing and then make it look like it's connected even though it's separate. Oh wait, no. I know what we can do. We can just put a platform on it and that should be fine. Yeah, there we go. Just gotta platform it, you guys. Okay, so that could be the bathroom, and then we could put greenery on top of there so it kind of plays into the terrarium theme. So usually terrariums may have like pebbles underneath them and moss. So we could be inspired by that. We can go dark and moody and planty. Honestly, I already want to put some succulents up here. So maybe we should do that. Is this the darkest grass we have? I think so. And we are definitely going to need move objects on. So this looks kind of mossy for starters. And we do have some succulent looking bushes, like these ones. It's literally called a succulent. So there you go. I have a couple of these spotted up here. Oh, and we also got our new stone clusters, which are handy. That was from the recent in-game event, the Nature's Calling event. I love those. And we do get to use a trim up there, which is nice. Okay, so that's our first little hint of this being a terrarium. So in here will be a bathroom. I don't know if we'll leave this all as glass, like if we just don't care, or maybe we put greenery around it so you can't really see in. But I do love this door from Businesses and Hobbies because it's frosted glass and it actually has some really nice colors. Like this is a deep green color, which is perfect. We'll go frosted though. I mean, realistically, the door's probably going to have to go not right here to fit everything in. It would be nice to have a platform. Let's maybe see if we can pop a platform in here somewhere. I'm thinking maybe the bed goes over in this area, or maybe it's a little risen kitchen. A bunk bed could make sense in a terrarium too. Or there's always the old Murphy bed for a tiny home build. These counters match the pebbles below. Oh, what happened to all of our succulents up there? I guess they got deleted from us lifting up the platform in this room. Well, I guess we'll do those succulents last. We can have like some rocks inside. Also trying to make this look not just like a fantasy build where it's just like, it's a house in a terrarium that you couldn't actually live in real life, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like it's more of a challenge and more fun for me personally to try and make it look like a real build, like putting plants in a glass case here. I quite like that. Oh, but that looks so not great from the top. Unless we made a little pocket here and kind of extended that, ooh, like this. Maybe we have a hanging plant cascading down. Also, I just had another idea. I don't know how functional this will be, but if we had these like Businesses and Hobbies pieces right here. There's a little bit of tearing though, which could be annoying, but it does look cool. Although if we just did one, we could put a fridge here. Oh no, but then that looks weird because it sits too far back. So we would have to double them up. Do another terrarium pocket in this one. Then I guess our door would be the Business and Hobbies door because this is the most, the door that just blends in with the rest of it. Are there any nice bunk beds that could go with this little house situation we've got going on here? Doesn't look as sleek. Let's say we did that. And then the bathroom actually had like a whole terrarium row to it just here, which is where we could establish some privacy, you know? So we could do like a privacy type of window here, that painted, or where we put some rocks and succulent looking things in here, as well as having some greenery grow up the walls. Okay, now we're talking. Now we're cooking. Desperately need some lights in here as well, I'm just realizing. I guess soft lighting would be nice. Oh, actually, because of our roof situation, we won't be able to have any saucer lights anyway. We'll have to put them on the walls. But it might give it a nice, like, damp, moody, calm, quiet vibe, which I think is what terrariums feel like cool. I know this would be the obvious choice to go for a terrarium build, but I do want to make it look kind of modern and somewhat realistic as opposed to going the occult direction of it, like a fairies terrarium, which also would be a very cute build. You know what I think I need? I need that rock sconce light that came from, I think it was the fitness kit. This one. Yes, I love this rock light. That's what we need, because it's literally, terrariums have rocks. It makes sense, right? I have a couple of those around the place. What does this look like at nighttime? Oh my gosh, it is dark in here. Oh dear, we will need some extra lighting for sure. Okay, now this kitchen looks really quite generous. For a house this size, it looks strange. You think a cactus in a terrarium makes sense? I don't know. I'm sure there are cacti terrariums, but I feel like for the world we're in, the cacti maybe doesn't suit the lush vibe. We're not so much going for a desert, more like damp forest flowers. I also don't have a lot of room to play around with the flowers in here. And I'm also wondering, do we get rid of the pebbles and do grass in these areas? So they look a little bit like separate from the rest of the house, or even like this dark pebble. Maybe those. And then maybe we do something unusual here and have like a kitchen table coming across, or even maybe a bar table. Or, I mean, we could also do the island table, but no, I don't think so. Or perhaps we could overlap this rock solid faux wall that came with the bathroom kit. Oh, it's just a little bit too short. What happens if we just lifted it up a notch? I'm just trying to like create maybe a merged dining table into the kitchen bench, which is proving to be a little bit difficult. I mean, let's think for a second. Over here, if we have a stove, actually I'll put it over on this side. If we have a stove there, and then we just need a sink, and then they also have this counter for working space. That's actually all we technically need, because we've also got the fridge over here, so we actually don't need this bench right here. I do like how we can kind of use this to frame the kitchen a bit more. Although it does sit up too high from the ground technically, so it does look a little strange. I don't mind having some interior rocks, because I guess you could use those as decor. I also just had a thought, with these sleek bathroom items, we can probably layer them by stacking them. Although they do have that overlap glitch as well. Okay, I jumped ahead just a little bit because I feel like it's such a basic shape that I needed to dress it up more. I feel like, yeah, the terrarium just being rectangular, maybe I should have gone for the octagon to make it a little bit more exciting and different. However, I do think the interior is coming along really nicely. And I haven't finished the garden yet, but I've kind of laid it down. And I've actually found, I love when you play Sims and you discover like a new little trick that you know you're going to use over and over again. This is so simple. I'm sure a lot of you guys have figured this out. But in our pond objects, this algae clump actually looks really pretty as a ground cover, especially when you size it up and size it down. I was also player testing their house as well. That's why there's some eggs here, because my Sims made eggs and of course left them there. And also this is a nice item that I got from Enchanted by Nature, ordering it before a certain date, which is, I just thought kind of goes with the terrarium theme. Anyway, this is how we're looking so far. I've added in a few more decorations just around the place, you know, planting it up in here. And I think we have room for a little lounge area just here. Part of me actually doesn't mind the algae coming inside, even though it's kind of icky. But because our goal was to make this more of a realistic terrarium inspired house, we might just move that outside. But yeah, I thought we could, you know, pop a couch in here, maybe put a TV on this diagonal wall. Maybe we could even go for a couch that's a little bit more simplistic. I actually love this like broken leather look. That looks so cool. I also like that this light has more leaves on it, but maybe we'd put it over there so it's not directly next to a little terrarium window over here. But yeah, I feel like this is such a simple build that I'm like, I wish I went for a different shape. But hopefully you guys still are enjoying the interior. Let me know anyway. If we can pop a nice TV here, that actually fits in really nicely. And I feel like we will be able to fit a little coffee table in here as well. I think also that brown kind of cracked leather looks a little bit like a tree trunk kind of, even though we're keeping it very minimal, dark, damp in here. Maybe having a hint of brown brightens it up just a little bit. Oh my gosh, remember this coffee table from my first pet stuff? Good times. We could go with this, or we could go with maybe this rock kind of looking stone. We could actually put a rock next to it and maybe it would make it look like they're merged together. I don't know if this looks silly, but it's my idea that I've got. They're actually quite a similar color, so it's not the worst idea. Whoa, okay, that's a little too tall. Let's maybe lift this up a bit and make it look like it's kind of carved out of the rock. Or alternatively, we could make these all black and then one that might look, actually I think that looks better. It looks more sleek. That's actually kind of cool. I don't mind that at all. And maybe we can put, what are we gonna put on here? Another plant. That's the theme of this build. Plants, plants, plants. Being the theme of our last few builds, I think. Maybe we can do this little guy and a regular clutter object like, maybe not 3 mugs, but we could do 1 mug. Where's my 1 mug clutter? I mean, really, it shouldn't be more expensive than the 3 mugs, so let's grab that. And I'm gonna not go black. Got plenty of black color scheme here. Okay, so we've got that there. And I mean, the mossy rug that came with Snowy Escape and that also came with Enchanted by Nature. I wasn't a huge fan of these rugs because they look very cartoonish, 2-dimensional. I mean, I guess kind of arguably all the rugs kind of do, but I guess because it's moss, I want it to be more 3-dimensional. Anyway, my point is we could maybe use that here, or we've also got this kind of a rug, which is less on the nose, literal moss looking. Wish these were less fluorescent green too. I mean, maybe we can kind of layer them. You know what? I think they actually do work in this build. As far as moss rugs go, this is probably the one time I will use them. Yeah, I'm really not a fan. And I don't know if that's just me. Are you guys the same? Or is this just like a weird little thing that I have that I don't like them? I think I just want them to be more fairy. So we can add some mossy rugs around here. I've also got actually a green carpet. I love this new carpet that they gave us in the base game update. I think it's so nice, but we could go with wood up here if we wanted to, or the pebbles. No, the pebbles don't look right up here. We definitely need a different kind of wood or flooring. Well, there's this one, which is kind of interesting. Maybe we go with that just because it's something a little bit different. Also, I player tested these seats and Sims can sit in both of them. And of course we should use the terrarium objects in a terrarium build. I've also sized down the bin over here. Do we want to range hood? We technically could add a range hood because we've got an overhang of the ceiling, which is handy. Because that does look nice. The only issue I have is that it completely intersects our plant wall that we have here. I think I'm gonna leave it there though. Like, yes, it kind of is over the top of greenery, which in real life probably wouldn't work, but in The Sims, I think it looks pretty, so it's all good. Also got a hanging light here, and then another one under this overhang area. We want some more moss in the kitchen. I mean, why not? We're using the moss. It actually does look kind of cool. All right. I've also got some stuff here to make a bathroom with. So obviously this bathroom is not gonna be beautiful and private. It's gonna be a little bit open, and that's just the nature of the terrarium house. We do have a little bit of coverage, so you'd really have to walk by and peep in if you really want to see. I was also thinking if we lift up this stone area and create like a step around the sink, that also adds another level of privacy, which is kind of nice, and just something a little bit different in the game, which I think the Sims would still be able to use. And then we could have the shower here. So the sink is kind of integrated into the shower area, which, okay, I wouldn't usually do it that way, but it does allow us to use the sleek bathroom glass here, which I think looks pretty good with the rest of it. So I don't mind it so much. We just need to player test it. And I didn't want the door to walk straight into where the toilet is, because that's just not cute. We'll have that there with some gold elements, but I think that should be all usable. It is a bit strange though. I mean, alternatively, you would put the shower here, which is more normal, but then you're staring into the toilet, unless we put the toilet just over here. Well, yeah, because, you know, the shower was looking pretty weird. It was looking a little too weird. Then we could build the toilet into this little wall like that. Maybe not have toilet paper in the shower. I guess we can just put that on the glass here. Imagine drilling that into the glass. That would be interesting. We might not have room for this, unfortunately. Or we don't have this and we actually do a full glass wall, which I kind of love because it goes with the rest of the house so well. Maybe we go with that. I just want to get my Sims in again to check that they can use the bathroom okay. Okay, we've got my fave, Judith Ward here. I did do a makeover of Judith Ward if you want to download her, and she has a cat called Demira. Anyway, she looks fabulous. Let's just see if she can, in fact, pee like a champion in this toilet, and also wash her hands, and also take a brisk shower, just to make sure everything's working fine. It looks like it's all good to go. I've already player tested the kitchen, so that's all good and well. And I just want to check if I can drag this into a bin that's been sized down. I actually can. Lovely. Okay, so player testing is fine. I'll get rid of that. The lighting is very dark at the moment in spring, so I'm gonna remove her from the house. One sec. We desperately need some more beautiful greenery in here. Some cascading plants. I love this plant. We also should have some of the potted plants too. Maybe we can create like a shelf for those. So one thing that I'm kind of surprised that I haven't really done that some of you guys were recommending, that's putting items on these square shelves, whether they're from the sleek bathroom kit or the cozy gamer. And then I believe you can size down the shelves and place them within other shelves. So then you have like full control wherever you want to place an object, essentially, if that makes sense. I mean, in this case, we can just place the pot on here. But yeah, I just thought that was a great idea. And I was like, why haven't I done that yet? So thank you for that suggestion. We're definitely going to get some succulents. Actually, we don't have enough room between these shelves to fit that succulent on. So maybe we do need to use our little shelf trick. The only thing is I'm not sure if the Sim's actually going to be able to access this, which that's kind of annoying. So let's see if we can maybe pop some of these in an area that it can be accessed. I mean, the other option is we don't do these shelves and we just go with these. Although it says it doesn't function here either. Oh, but it looks so cute. Probably does stick out a little farther. I love this flower item from Enchanted by Nature. Like a potted flower. Can pop that maybe on the shelf here. Another nice succulent from that pack. I'm gonna place this pot on the little shelf and then maybe place it in here. Slightly too big. Gonna pop this one on a little mini shelf. I think we'll be able to squeeze one more on there. Yay, cute. Or should we size this one up? Oh no, I lost it. There we go. Maybe change the color because it's the same. Nice. That trick works really, really well. It's a good strategy. We'll use the tiny shelf again over here to place that. Okay, so that's a nice little shelf we got there with lots of plants on it as well to go with our terrarium. If we really wanted to, we could also fit in a desk in this area if the chair went this way, but I think it'll look a bit fuddy-duddy with the little wardrobe we have here. So I would rather do maybe just a little skill building item and then some kind of shelving for our other plants. But you could definitely fit it in if you wanted to. I wonder if the plants fit on this. Oh my gosh, they do. Oh, except for this one. That's still really handy though, because this is a lovely stand. Oh, this would have been good. I wish I had used this already. We could use this in the corner. A bit much though. It does look awesome. Also, I just realized we don't have a mirror, which is a bit of an issue. Let's pop a mirror in here. Pop a mirror in here. Maybe we'll do the yellow. The yellow is quite pretty. I think this will sit nicely up here as well. It goes with this tree quite nicely. Okay, then I've just got these random shelves here. We could put curtains along here as well. You know, that's not a problem. We could just go like that. And I mean, obviously it wouldn't block out all the light because we have a whole glass ceiling. But if that was a concern to you, you could have curtains in here and it probably would look nice. I actually am really struggling to place these though. We're able to do it, but I didn't like it. I suppose we can have some kind of moody painting in here. I'm thinking maybe this abstract one because it's very organic looking, like it has those natural shapes you might see in nature. This sitting in front of it, and maybe another nature inspired or geometric print there. That's quite nice. There we go. I have a teeny weeny little lamp here as well. They do also have a hanging light. Do we want this hanging light? Maybe we don't need the hanging light. Got two sources up there. And I kind of love the idea of just having a little hint of a mushroom in here. It's not the sleekest or most modern looking item, but it is kind of cute to sneak a mushroom in. Really want a red mushroom though, but I don't know about the colorway. Sneak it out the front door there. Okay, it has come out looking pretty good. We just need like an outdoor area. I mean, you do have to go out the front door to get to the outdoor area, but it's not like you have to walk that far. Maybe let's just do a very simple outdoor table like this. These plants are pretty cool to just like dot around the place. And I think having lots of ferns is the way to go for the terrarium. I just think of fern gullies and that kind of thing for terrarium areas. Cool, damp. So lots of outdoor retreat items. And I also like the idea of having some purpley colors too. So let's finish off this landscaping and make this body of water look like it's a legit body of water here. So we need to put some grasses amongst all of these rocks and stones I've placed in here. Get some algae along the edges as well to blend it in, although that is all floating. So let's not do that. We want it on the water. The algae does like to float. The nice thing about ponds is you can add some pond effects as well. So you can add some dragonflies that'll appear in live mode and some mallard ducks. And this log, you can call a turtle out. You can have a turtle sitting on there. I think it's a turtle. And if you really like landscaping, don't forget about romantic garden stuff as a pack, because you get some really, really beautiful flowers that are handy to use for landscaping in your builds. That's a pack a lot of people forget about, but it's really one of the only landscaping packs that we really have. And there's also the magic wishing well, which comes with some good gameplay as well. Okay, wow, I've really gone to town with building up the surrounding area of this terrarium house. We're really going for it today, folks. I hope you like lots of trees everywhere. Terrarium, because I'm thinking about terrain, I think. All right, now let's do some terrain paint, terrarium paint. La, la, la. This always makes such a big difference. Spot it around the place and make sure to adjust the softness so you can blend it out a bit. So much better. I might have gone too hard with these flowers. I feel like I put too many of them in. I think I got a little carried away. There we go. I pared it back just a little bit. Oh, and we've got our little inside bit here as well. So let's do that. I almost forgot. And put our little succulents up here. And I think some of the algae would look good up here too. So let's get some of that. And did we want to have a few plants on the outside? I know it's kind of not really what you see on a terrarium, but it's a cute idea. Just for a little bit of fun, let's have it slightly overgrown. There we go, cute. All right, so this is our terrarium build house. It's also lit up at nighttime, which is good. But let's look at it in the afternoon light. So yeah, the actual shape of it is, I guess, a little bit boring because it's like literally just a rectangle. But I think we did a good job with the interior and making it look really lush and green. So if we go inside, you have like the plants on that roof ledge. You have the TV on an angle here, which looks pretty sick when you walk in the door. It's a good, usable little space. And one of my favorite things is that we turned the coffee table into like a rock formation. I think that looks great. Then we have our simple kitchen. You know, we managed to fit it all in. Lots of greenery behind these bench tops. We also have our shelf area that has glass behind it and more greenery. So it's very, very pretty. And this is probably my favorite box of goodies. Glass box of goodies on the side there. Little table bar area. God, it would probably get so hot in here in summer. And then up here is our bedroom. So just a simple bed area with some ledges and paintings. It's pretty minimal in here actually. It's really the plants that take all the attention, which is just great. And then, you know, the curtains, they do something. They help a little bit. So yeah, it is like a tiny terrarium home. And then I love the bathroom as well. I think this looks kind of cool, the ledge that steps down so we can put some extra things on it. And there's some privacy there as well with all of this greenery. I mean, imagine showering next to that. That would be pretty sick. Then we've got our shower in here. Again, it's all usable, very pretty. And then of course, that angled wall looks sick. And of course, when you go out here, you've got lots of nature. A nice barbecue area and table to sit at. And then of course, this is the pond area that would come to life I was about to say at night, but in live mode So I'll show you guys that. So yeah, in live mode, you can see the ducks swimming around and the dragonflies, and there's actually some fish in here. And then you can allow turtles to sun on the log. So there you go. That really brings it to life. And I know some of you guys like to see their houses in live mode and in action for the final tour. Yeah, I am actually pretty happy with this. This turned out pretty sick. And we also came up with a couple of new little handy things to use in other builds, such as our shelf trick and also the algae ground cover, which I'm surprised I haven't done more often. But yeah, Judith is loving it. She's loving watching the TV in here as well. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys are having a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and I will speak to you soon. And also, don't forget, you can use the code Deligracy. Oh, and also, thank you to my amazing members for all of your support, and let me know in the comments down below what builds you would like to see next. I've already done my outro, so I guess dag dag. Thanks for watching.